I'm using Metaltech scaffolding to fix the siding on my house. The bottom section I bought new off Amazon, but this top section of the safety rails I bought used off Facebook Marketplace. This is what it should look like, but this is the reason I got such a great price on it. It was left outside for about 2 years, and the wood deck is completely rotted, plus the frame that surrounds it is rusted. The bottom side doesn't look too bad, but there's a nice crack through it that must have been a pretty scary moment for someone. And this is what the trapdoor looks like. I'm using a 1/4-inch drill bit to take the top of the rivet off. They're actually 3/16-inch rivets, so it takes a little bit more than just the top off. And it also makes this pretty good mess. I've switched over to gloves so I don't hurt my fingers. And if, like me, you have dogs or kids running around the yard, you might want to be careful with this. They'll hurt their paws. So after I've got all the heads drilled off, I have to pull it up off the stud part of the rivet that's still left in the frame. To remove these, the easiest method I found was to take a pair of linesman's pliers and clip the top off. The top's a little mushroomed out from drilling it. And then grab the bottom with a small pair of vice grips and work it out. They're made from aluminum, so they're pretty easy to pull out. And this is the trapdoor. Same process, big mess. So on the bottom of it there are 2 reinforcement pieces. They're angle iron, about 3/4 inch by 1/8 inch thick, with 3 rivets going through each one, and they stiffen and reinforce the trapdoor. I tried to pull the rivets out from this side, but as it turns out I was just breaking them off. So after a minute I gave up and grabbed a hammer. So this is the frame with the wood removed. It's actually in pretty decent shape. Overall, there's not too much rust on it. It's all surface rust. And you can see the rivets that are still stuck in the hinges. But despite a little rust on the pins, the hinges are solid. They're not really rusted through, it's just surface rust. And there's some old joint compound on it, and signs of wear. I will say everywhere that there was a rivet, there's rust. And that's true for these support pieces as well. I cleaned up both of the trapdoor supports on just a bench grinder with a wire wheel on it. It took about 10 minutes total. Pretty easy to do. And I'm using Rust-Oleum for this, 2 coats per side. To attack the rust on the rest of the frame, I'm using this wire wheel on my angle grinder. This thing is absolutely incredible. So everywhere that there was a rivet, there's rust. Overall, it took me about 2 hours to completely prep this frame for painting. This tool is really worth its weight in gold. And the last step for paint prep is Brillo with hot water and simple green. I use this for almost everything that I paint. It's such a great way to prep things. It surface sands it, degreases it, scuffs it, everything all at once. And then 2 coats of Rust-Oleum on each side. I replaced the plywood decking with 2 identical pieces of plywood. I cut the same sizes. I used 19/32 inch plywood. I traced the handles from the old pieces, and this was the closest hole saw I had to it. It's 1.5 inches. I made 2 holes and connected them with the jigsaw. Pretty easy. Then I gave it a good coat of primer on both sides. So once the boards were prepped, I put them onto the frame with the frame upside down, just so I could make sure that they fit correctly. Then I clamped them into place and flipped the frame over. This is what I'm using to attach the boards to the frame. These are 1 inch long, 3/16 inch aluminum pop rivets, and a 3/16 inch drill bit. This process is easy. Just drill through each hole. Now I've flipped the frame back over, and I'm going to insert the rivets from the wood side. If you've never done rivets before, this is a very simple process. The rivet goes through the hole, and then the rivet gun simply fits over the top of the rivet. You can see on the bottom of it, it's got a few different options for the size of the rivet, and you squeeze it like pliers. After it goes once, you open it up and reset the tool, and squeeze it again, and keep going until the rivet breaks. This is the same thing from a side angle. After the stem breaks inside the rivet, you have to keep going to pull the stem out of the rivet. So after you hear the snap, you have to reset it a couple of times, and eventually the stem will pull right out. And this is what it looks like from the bottom. This is a really cool rivet trick. If you're going to do a lot of rivets like with this project, it's going to take a toll on your grip. They're not the easiest thing to do, and after a few of them you're going to get really tired hands. However, if you just take a simple block of 2x4 and set it up like this, you can use it as a press. The other cool thing is you don't have to reset the tool. The weight of the end of it resets it over the stem. And that's what they look like when they're all set. This is the big board fixed in place. That's the back side of it. The rivets do a nice job. And here's the trapdoor. I'm doing the same thing, making sure it's where I want it to be, then flipping the whole frame over and drilling through the hinge holes. there are 6 rivets that hold it to the hinges. Those go in the same as the other rivets. And now I'm using the old door to mark the location of the door supports. I'm just going to do the top hole on each one. I don't really need them to be lined up with the old door, I need it to be lined up with itself. So I've put a rivet into the top hole to hold it in place, and now it's a right angle or a wrong angle. And I'm going to drill a second hole, put a rivet in there to keep it in place, and drill the last hole. Once that's done, I've flipped it over and I'm putting the rivets in from the top side. And this is what that looks like. So I repeated the process for the other support. And there it is, a nice new strong trapdoor. The last thing on this is this latch. I didn't find this really essential to have while I was using it for painting, and it just comes on and off with a couple of wood screws. If you took it off, you'll know how it goes on. It's super easy. But for carrying around, it was very useful. So there's the deck up in place. I was very happy with this. I had no issues whatsoever. It was strong, quiet, reliable. I will never use a ladder again. This scaffolding is fantastic.